I think I came across a glitch in the matrix. I was putting my clothes away and I came across this shirt, and nothing weird about that. But then I came across this shirt, the same exact shirt, in a different part of the closet. And this is not a shirt that I buy multiples of. This is like kind of a special occasion shirt. And this one has the tag that I had cut out. And this one has the tag where I had cut it out. And I don't know, I'm kind of weirded out right now. I don't know, like, why these two shirts. These are not just tank tops, these are not basics. And I don't have a lot of clothes. I mean, okay, I kind of do, but I don't have a lot of clothes to where I forget what I buy. Like, this is a glitch in the matrix.
Is it, friend? Because from where I'm sitting, I'm kind of close to my laptop screen. I got my bifocals on. Bifocals. I got my glasses on, and it's a great day. Like, I actually got some sleep, so my eyes are like, yeah, it's percolating. From where I'm sitting, that look like two different shirts. Right in the shoulder pad part. But I also realized that the first one she showed was inside out. So maybe that could have been the case. Maybe, I don't know. But usually when I see glitch in the matrix where it's identical things, like you have 2 or 3 things of the same thing, that is just like, what, how? Everything is exactly the same about that thing. I was looking at the tag and it looked like the tags were cut a little different, you know. But maybe in your other parallel dimension, you was just busy and then just didn't cut it right or whatever fully. I don't know about that one, friend. And I'm also the type of person who I have a certain type of style. And if you look in my closet right now, especially when it comes to sweaters, I fucking love sweaters. I'm gonna have to post y'all a picture of the new turtle sweater I got right before it got like warm. I got to wear it the other day and I was just like, I need something other than this. Like, I need the other shirt, but it's so freaking cute. I love sweaters. So I probably have like 5 of the same sweaters in a different color from different stores. And it could be made slightly different. But if I saw it, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love that sweater. Like, this last year, I have been collecting sweaters. And it's just like, yo, I'm a sweater girl. I am a type of girly who loves a good book, a good sweater, and a good bitch, honey. Like, I will be somewhere in the corner with my sweater on, reading a book in a Barnes & Noble, waiting for a girl to pop up for a date. Like, that is me. That is me. So, yeah, I have a few things that look exactly the same because it's my style, you know? It's my style. So that could have been the case where you were just out and was like, oh, that's super cute. And the reason why you thought it was super cute because you already have it and you had it on. I've done that before. I'm a Pinterest girly. I'll see something on Pinterest and I'll go find it. So maybe that was cute, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a glitch.
I'm about to tell y'all a story that I listened to about 3 days ago and it has not left my mind. And of course it happened in Mexico. So there was a truck driver who had a partner. You know, sometimes there's 2 people in a truck. They take turns while one is sleeping, one drives, the other one gets tired, the other one drives, and this one goes to sleep. Why did I overcomplicate that? Anyway, they were both on the road and the truck, something messed up to make them have to park on the side of the road. Mind you, this was in the middle of nowhere. They also realized that they had no signal on their phones and nobody in the radio was responding to them. So the guy who had been at the back sleeping volunteered to walk and see if there's anything up the hill because at this point they were trying to go up a hill to go forward. He tells the guy that was driving to stay put in case anybody passed by or maybe a cop or anybody that can help them out. They both agreed. The guy went on his way and the driver stayed in the truck. So as the guy who stayed in the truck is waiting, he starts to feel something very eerie. Like, okay, fine, he's in the middle of nowhere, but like, why does he feel the sensation like he's being watched? It was also in that moment where he starts to hear almost like if something is scratching the passenger side of that truck. He wasn't thinking it was anything paranormal or like scary like that, but obviously he's like, well, what if it's an animal? What kind of animal is it? Should I be concerned? So what he did is he kind of went to the passenger seat, looked at the mirror because he figured he could see what was down there, and what he thinks he sees is an old lady. However, the weirdest thing is he thinks that he sees this old lady hunched over, hiding next to the passenger door, which would be crazy because if you know trucks, they're tall. So for her to be standing and hunched over would mean that she would have to be an extremely tall old lady. The only way that he can explain what happened next was that he almost went into some sort of a trance, because he says that he could swear that this lady was calling him by his name. He remembers closing his eyes because he didn't want to look at the lady. Something in him was telling him that this lady was up to no good. They were in the middle of nowhere, and why would there be an old lady out here? Not only that, but she knew his name. So as he has his eyes closed, swearing that this lady's calling his name and doesn't want to look at her, he starts to hear somebody honking, and he's like, oh my gosh, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's, you know, his partner. So he opens his eyes, and no, he sees another truck driver passing by him like full speed, but honking the horn really, really fast and loud. However, that truck driver did not stop. He kept going. So obviously now he knows this truck driver was not helping them, but why were they honking? He's thinking maybe my partner got in contact with somebody, but why didn't they stop? So since they didn't stop, he again closed his eyes and just prayed and prayed and prayed, because obviously he still heard somebody calling his name. So he says that he has no idea how long he sat there with his eyes closed and just praying until somebody knocking on his window interrupted that. And thankfully it was his partner. And by this point, the driver got out of the truck, hugged his partner, and just started crying and crying and crying. After hugging his partner and he's still crying, he sees that his partner brought this guy that he knew that also fixes trucks, and he went and hugged him too and started crying, and they were both like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So he tells them, he's like, I swear there was an old lady. I think she was really tall because I saw her, she was calling my name. And they were both looking at each other like, I didn't see an old lady, like there's nobody there. Why don't you get in the other truck and let's just go? Like they were gonna go and fix this in the morning. I forgot to mention this was like at 3 or 4 in the morning. My bad, pimp. So their plan was to just drive ahead where there was like this restaurant that a lot of truck drivers stopped at until the daylight came back, and they would go back to the truck and fix it. They get to this restaurant and they recognize a lot of these truck drivers that were there, and one of the guy was like, what is wrong with you? Because at this point the guy, the driver, the one who saw that old lady, he was so pale and still scared out of his mind at what he had seen. However, he did not hold back. He told every truck driver that was at that restaurant exactly what he saw on the side of the road, and for some weird reason they all stayed very silent. The guy who had originally asked him what was wrong because he was pale told him, you know, someone just stopped and told us something weird. This guy tells them that about an hour ago a truck driver had stopped at that restaurant. He was also very pale and scared, and when he asked them what was wrong, the guy told them the following. I just got chills. This guy tells them that when he was in his truck driving downhill, because again the other truck was over here stuck going uphill, that he could have sworn that he saw an old lady, a very tall old lady with goat feet standing up on the side of a trailer. He explains that he was honking and honking because he was scared that the guy in the trailer was asleep and that this old lady with goat feet was going to attack him. And remember, the guy did have his eyes closed because he was scared and he was praying. So when he got really close to them, he hit the gas even though he was going downhill, and that's how he was trying to tell the guy, wake up, wake up, there was something next to the truck. However, he was too scared to stop, and that's why he ended up stopping at the restaurant that was down the road. And the reason why he stopped is because he couldn't drive anymore. He was terrified. He had to stop somewhere to like relax, to calm down. After about 30 minutes, the guy says that the guy finally calmed down and said, I have to leave, I don't even want to be in this area, I gotta go. And he went about his way. He could tell that every truck driver in that restaurant was very scared. They were all serious. Nobody was laughing. Nobody was taking it as a joke. Not only were a few of them there to witness the first guy saying that he saw the lady, but then the guy who saw the lady and was not asleep, was actually praying, comes in and like really confirms the story that the first guy said. He said that all the guys took it very seriously, and a lot of them agreed that they would not be stopping there even if they were tired, not even to rest. They would try to get as far away from that area as possible. That shit is so scary. Can you imagine? I cannot. Imagine if he didn't even have a partner though.
That part! Oh my goodness, that part! If he didn't have a partner, he would have to walk out there by himself. But the thing is, his partner did not see what he saw. So, but maybe it was trying to get to him. And if he didn't have a partner, yep, I see it, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Because when she was first telling the story, I was just like, okay, vampire. You know, like immediately I was just like, okay, this is a vampire. If it's knowing your name, entering your thoughts, you know, and tall, hush, like immediately vampire. But now the Goldie is just like, nah, I don't know what that is. And don't want to know. Like, not asking the 5Ws. So yeah, friend, I'm glad you're okay. Because it was just like trying to, and she's telling the story and I'm visualizing it. And I was just like, wait, what? So the truck driver on the other side coming down the hill, they must have, after they got to him, made a U-turn. Because when she first told the story, I'm thinking her partner went up the street, up the hill, you know, up the hill. So maybe he did go up the hill, find somebody, and then that truck repair person knew of the restaurant down the hill. So they did a U-turn down the hill because they were saying that the other truck driver who was blowing the horn, speeding down the hill, just left an hour ago. So I had to put all that together so I could visualize it, because I was just like, wait, what? This isn't making sense. So now that I did all those mental obstacles, jumping through hoops, it makes sense. It's scary as heck. Here's some, because when I was like, okay, it's an animal. I mean, you in the middle of nowhere. That's crazy, honey. That is crazy. Can you imagine seeing that in the mirror by yourself? He closed his eyes and prayed. I would have been praying with my eyes open, finding weapons. Like, God, we about to do this. Because it's like, what? Girl, I'm glad he prayed, though. He knew what to do. Because I feel like that was aiding in that truck coming to blow the horn to scare it off. Look at God. Won't he do it? He works in mysterious ways, and it's just beautiful.
I've seen multiple glitch in the Matrix story times this week on TikTok where people will see themselves out, like literally themselves. And all they can do is just sit there in shock. Because, like, what do? You know? Well, I've never had that happen to me. But my nanny, aka my grandma, passed away when I was like 12. And when I was 15, I went to Wawa, right, with my stepmom, and it was nighttime, and I was just waiting for her in the parking lot. So I was sitting in the passenger seat on my phone, and I look up. Coming out of the little vestibule is a lady with a silhouette very, very familiar to me. My nanny was pretty short. She was about 5 feet, and she always had a very specific short haircut. Okay, come waddling out of Wawa is a lady that looked exactly like her. And she walks right past the car that I was in and locks eyes with me. I was frozen and I had no idea what to say or do because that was literally my grandma, like everything down to a T. And she just stares at me as she walks past and goes into a random car. I was frozen and I started sobbing, and when my stepmom came out, she was like, well, what the heck? And I was like, I literally just saw Nanny, like, what? So I know what these people are saying. Like, I know that feeling. It is so weird. But we gotta have an explanation for this. What's going on?
So what our explanation is the crossover in the dimension parallels timelines. That's what, and I feel like the grandma in that timeline was just like, I feel like I should know you. Like, there's some familiarity right now. Like, I feel like you have my bloodline, but I know that I don't have a granddaughter. I have a grandson in this parallel. So maybe that could be the explanation for that. But that's wow. Like, what do you do? Because you know they say you're not supposed to talk to doppelgangers. And I'm just like, there's stories of when you see somebody who looks exactly like you, when you see yourself, you're supposed to run. That's what they say. But in these new glitch in the Matrix, it's just like they're just staring. Like, it's that thing they say that it's a bad thing. So what is it now? Is it just like the norm? Is this just normal? It's not a bad thing? It's just the norm now? Like a glitch in the Matrix? I don't know, honey. Because if I see myself in public fighting the urge to not talk to myself, it will be a battle. It would be a real battle. Because I would want to know everything about this person. Girl, the timeline police would lock me the freak up because I would have to interact. And I don't know if it's good or that, you know? Girl, honey, boo-boo kitty. That is crazy. And when my grandfather passed away when I was a young age, because she was just like, she was 12 with a phone, but I had to think about that. I was just like, oh, yeah. That makes sense. I had a phone at that time. That's when phones first came around. I'm not saying how old I am, but when my grandfather died, I remember seeing, there's this man at my church that I don't ever remember ever seeing before. Like when my grandfather was alive, I don't remember seeing this man ever in my life. But when he passed, I start seeing this man. He looks exactly like my grandfather, but with darker features. Like y'all seen what my mom looks like. Imagine her in a man form. Like that's how my grandpa looked. Like it looked like he spit her out. Like literally, it's crazy how much my mom looks like her brother looks like their dad. Like it's crazy. So seeing this man, it was just like, yo, and it kind of comforted me because I was young when my grandfather passed and he was my everything, honey. My everything. Girl, don't get me crying. But anyway, when I seen him, it was like comfort. It was just like, okay. Well, maybe my grandfather reincarnated. And at the young age, I didn't know anything about that. But we had Cartoon Network, so we knew a little bit about it. So it just made me feel comforting. And maybe that was what that was for her. It was meant to comfort her and let her know, like, yo, she's okay. And another parallel, she's thriving. Like maybe that was the case. We don't know. But if I ever saw myself in real life, I really don't know. No, I would go. I would say I really don't know what I would do. No, I really do know what I would do. I would go talk to me. But anyway, like this video, follow all the creators, and subscribe.